Well, based on the way Sean Payton was talking this morning in his Zoom press conference, it doesn't seem that the Denver Broncos are going to be active at the trade deadline. I want to bring in this article from Andrew Mason of denversports.com. Payton said on the trade deadline this morning, Superman's not walking in. So that would seem to indicate that the Broncos are staying pat with who they have on the roster right now. Let's go in a little bit further to what Payton said. He talked about how George Payton is predominantly going to be the guy who's in charge of making these moves. He's going to be the one who takes all the phone calls. He's going to be the one who ultimately makes the decision. But he will vet anything that he does through Sean Payton. That's just kind of the structure of the relationship that those two have. But Sean Payton said that his focus this week is on Kansas City. But honestly, the focus is on the guys in this building right here, Sean continued. Superman's not walking in. Apparently, there is one guy who is in Sean Payton's inner circle that really gets annoying about wanting to make these big-time trades and is consistently in Sean's ear about making moves either in free agency or the trade deadline, and that's his brother. My brother is the worst at this. You ready? He's the worst at free agency, and he's the worst at the trade deadline. Payton continues, and he just wants to see action, and then, right after the action takes place, he never goes back and reflects and says, well, that was a bad signing or that was a bad trade. And Payton also talked about the different elements that go into a trade, not just going out and trading for a player. There's obviously the contracts and other stuff that goes into it. I kid him, but I think there's so much more to that goes into it relative to when you're trading for a player or when you're trading a player or acquiring a player. Contracts go into it, vision goes into it, locker room goes into it. There's a lot of details that go into it. And that is very true, which is why I know there's a lot of pushback for the Denver Broncos making a move at the deadline. I am a proponent of the Denver Broncos making a move that would fit their vision long term, that would fit their locker room. And I believe contract-wise, there are a couple of players that would fit as well, and David Njoku is certainly one of them. I'm going to keep pounding the table for the Denver Broncos to trade for David Njoku until Tuesday's trade deadline passes, because he's the one guy that I really believe could be part of the Broncos' plans in terms of both short-term and long-term. And I understand that the Broncos want to build off of the roster that they currently have. And I respect that philosophy. I really do. But if there's a player out there that can help you improve for this short term in this season as you push to make the playoffs, as well as the next 2-3 years, I think that would be a move that you would make. Because again, it's a move that you're thinking about the future for this football team. You're not just thinking about the now. Again, maybe the Browns aren't willing to trade David Njoku, or maybe the Broncos just don't feel like David Njoku or somebody like that would be a good fit for this team. I also know that the Broncos strongly believe in the young group of guys that they have, but by that same token, when you look at the tight end room for the Broncos, that is one room where I really feel like they need some room to improve. They need to upgrade. They need to get better. And I just think that the current ceiling of that tight end room is very low, and David Njoku would raise it massively. So if there's one trade that I still hope the Denver Broncos might think about making, it is the David Njoku trade. I also think that they could possibly be looking to move on from guys like Baron Browning or Greg Dulcich. So despite Sean Payton telling the media that he doesn't see the Broncos being active at the trade deadline, I wouldn't be totally surprised if the Broncos ultimately did make a move or two, but I think that a big addition is probably out of the cards at this point in time for the Denver Broncos. All right, guys, be sure to leave a like on this video as well as subscribe and ring the bell so these videos appear in your notification feed. And let me know, Broncos country, if there is one trade that you wish the Denver Broncos would make, let me know what that trade would be in the comment section below. I would love to hear from you guys as always. All right, guys, and until next time, I'm your host, Gage Madrid, saying peace out.